All right, Greenville County has sent out the assessment notices. It's a real hot topic in real estate right now. I'm Angela Rodriguez over at Encore Realty. I'm here to tell you, don't freak out. This letter that you got is between you and Greenville County. When we price a house and we list a house to put it up for sale in our local MLS, we are not interested in what Greenville County is assessing it at. The whole purpose of this, it's a mechanism to tax you at a new number, because we all understand that real estate is so attractive to people because historically it goes up in value every year consistently over time. And the last 5 years, we have seen sales prices in Greenville County increase dramatically. This could have been a real eye-opener for you. Okay, I would tell you this is not a reason to freak out. This is a great opportunity for you to do your homework and to really figure out how much equity you have, right? Because that is where your wealth is in your equity. So there are some really good lessons to learn here, and then I'll do another segment where I break them down one by one. But let's dive into this. The message today is do not freak out. The first thing that I want you to look for in this letter, okay, is the ratio that you're being taxed at. Is that a 4% or is that a 6%? Because it's a really big difference in your tax bill. Okay, if this is your primary residence and you live there full time and it's the address on your driver's license, that's what's going to make it your primary residence. You qualify for a 4% rate, which is much lower than the 6% rate. So that is the first thing that you want to look at and dissect and dive into. And let's make sure that that is correct. Because the way this is set up is, if I'm your realtor and we buy the house together, I'm going to send you a calendar reminder to make sure that once you get your utility bills, you go down to the tax office and you fill out the pink form and you tell them that this is your primary residence. But you get homework after you buy a house. And if you get busy with life and you forget to tell the county of Greenville that you just bought a primary residence, they are actually going to tax you automatically at that 6% number. And again, that could make your mortgage payment go up monthly. Okay, if you are escrowing your taxes and insurance through your lender, okay, that is totally based on how you set up the structure of your mortgage at the time that you made this purchase. But I'm going to guess that you were haggling over repairs and so many other things at the same time that you probably don't even remember if you're escrowing your taxes or not. And then you get this bill and you might have a small heart attack. Okay, at the top of the letter, it says this is not a tax bill. So step number one, figure out if you are being taxed at the 4% or the 6% rate. That is your first takeaway. Okay, I think your second opportunity with these letters is to figure out, what is my house actually worth? What could it sell for? Well, that is where you bring me in. I will come in. But what I need to do is I need to actually physically go inside of your house. Okay, I need to see it, because one of the big things that we price by is the condition of your property. How old is your roof, right? How old are the HVACs? What does the deck look like? Do you have a deck? And the main thing to remember with these assessments is, while they do use appraisers, they are not going inside of your house and taking pictures and measuring the room. So they don't necessarily have your accurate square footage. And when I'm listing your house professionally, I'm going to measure it because we want to charge for every inch, okay? What I have seen historically is that there is this number on file somewhere, but nobody calls the county that says, hey, my house is actually bigger than what you have on record. Because guess what? That would mean you'd be taxed more. So, right, so that's one other statistic, that when we're doing this the right way to market your house and come up with a professional listing price, we're going to measure the house. We're going to make improvements, perhaps painting, staging, decluttering. There's a lot that goes into pricing your home. We are going to look at neighborhood what we call comparable sales. But we can't just look backwards, because if we only looked at sales prices year to year, then they'd never go up in value, right? We have to factor in improvements throughout, that happen over time. Okay, so your house is probably worth more than you paid for it, but it just depends on how long you've been in the house. The only way to figure out what your house is really worth is to have someone like me, who's very good at their job, come in, take a look, and give you ranges. Because even I, as good as I am, cannot necessarily tell you, yep, this is the number, right? We have ranges. And we make what I call like a good, better, and best list. If we do X, Y, and Z, we'll probably land here. If we can do this, this, and this, we'll probably be in here. But a lot of the improvements are budget dependent on what you can and can't do, right? And then we talk strategy. And then the market is going to give us the cold, hard truth. But I try to prepare you for what is ahead. The other thing to remember is your neighbor might not be taxed the same as you. Right? We've talked about these homestead exemptions, and again, it depends on, did that neighbor sell recently, and are you new in the neighborhood, right? Because they're going to tax you based upon the sales price that you paid. Could be 10, 15, 20 years apart. So no, we are not all taxed equally, but we want to make sure that you are taxed appropriately. The third thing that I want you to take from these assessments is this an opportunity for you to now have a homestead exemption rate? And the way that you qualify for this discount, because that's what this is, it's important because it's a discount in your taxes. Are you 65 or older? And have you lived in this home as your primary residence for over a year, right? And this is where it's very important. What does the address on your driver's license say? Does it match the house, right? You have to have that year benchmark. And then there are forms that you can fill out, and then you would qualify for this tax break. It's very nice. It's close to like 20%. So don't sleep on this discount. I do know, like my mom and all of her friends, they got this assessment letter and they were very concerned. But I said, Mom, make sure they know that they can probably qualify for the homestead exemption. These assessments are only done every 5 years, and last time you may not have been 65. So age isn't just the only qualifier for this homestead exemption, okay? If you are disabled, partially or fully disabled, or if you're blind, those are also the categories that make up this homestead exemption. So if you're hearing this and you have a loved one that meets one of this criteria, please tell them, help save them money, because we know the cost of everything is going up. This is a beautiful tool to help people save money. So homestead exemption, I will make sure that this information is easily accessible wherever you're watching this video, okay? The fourth thing that I want you to take from the Greenville County tax assessment is, yes, there is an appeals process, but like anything, it is very specific, okay? And if you're not used to navigating the real property tax services, you might not know where to click. Even this letter, you're probably nervous, you saw a number. Let me make it easy for you, okay? We're gonna give you this information in a link, either in the description or in a comment, okay? Can you win an appeals process? Yes, I've had clients that have appealed, okay, in the Augusta Road area on a very nice street. The last time these assessment went out was like 2021. It was a little thrown off by COVID, but she won. What I will caution you is that this is not an easy process, but guess what? You call me, I can run you a broker opinion of value at no cost to you. You can use that as part of your documentation to make your case to the County of Greenville. But again, I'm not a decision maker here, and neither are you. There are rules and there are specific instructions that you have to follow. Number one is the deadline. You have 90 days from the date that you receive this letter that you're taking issue with, okay? So that's number one. If you do it at 91 days or later, they're gonna throw it in the trash, and you get what you get. But the thing to remember is taxes are a little wonky here in South Carolina. We do them in arrears. So you're getting this letter based on the value that was assigned to your home in December of 2024. We're almost now a year past that. There's been more sales. That's not necessarily today's data, okay? but we can help you with a broker opinion of value. But there is a specific form that you must fill out, okay? And then of course you can write a letter laying out your case, and you have to mail it to the County of Greenville. And that postmark decides whether or not you made the deadline. So again, I want to make this complicated process as easy as I can for you. Just call me, right? We can start there with the phone call. Don't be intimidated. This is, I mean, I've talked to doctors and lawyers who don't necessarily understand this, and you're not supposed to know all this. Are you a tax expert? Well, no. Call your friend Angela. We will make a plan and get through it together. And I hope this helps. Please feel free to share this video with a friend or a neighbor or a loved one. Give me a call, or make sure to check out where we're putting this information, whether it's either in the comments or in the description. And I hope to see you on the next video.